My beloved child, be still and listen. Lay down what you are carrying and open your heart, for this moment has not arrived by accident. I have watched you walk through years that have tested your strength, seasons that have bent your faith and blurred your direction. Hear me now. There is a holy comfort that rests in the presence of one I have chosen. When they enter a room, peace follows. Their smile quiets the storm that rattles your chest. Their silence speaks what words cannot. They are naturally empathic, fiercely loving, and unapologetically generous. Shelter to the weary, warmth to the cold, a mirror to those who feel unseen. Yet do not mistake this calm as emptiness. The ocean that reflects the sky can become a towering wave if you disturb its depths for too long. What you call niceness in them is discipline. What you call patience is strength under control. And when betrayal presses too far or the sacred is threatened, something ancient that I placed within them awakens. Storm, divine fire, and a roar that shakes foundations. Attend to me. In this message, I will reveal 8 reasons why the chosen ones in your life, and perhaps you yourself, can be the kindest souls you will ever encounter and yet the most dangerous when provoked. I will show you how their light heals and exposes, how their patience is purposeful, how their words become verdicts, how their protection extends inward as well as outward, how their silence can undo what their presence once held together, how truth sharpens their intuition, how mercy carries a threshold, and how their very energy shifts the atmosphere. Before we go further, if your heart stirs as I speak, know it is divine timing. Welcome to this channel, a place I am using to guide those I love. Share this word with someone who needs it. Type 777 in the comments as your agreement with heaven. And subscribe so you do not miss what I am unveiling for my chosen ones. Now, listen closely. My beloved child, come near and hear the honest truth I place upon your heart. There are among you those I have anointed with a particular light, a sanctified radiance that bends the air and stills the rush of fear. When such a one steps into a room, the weight on chests loosens as if a hand has been placed gently upon a burdened shoulder. Their presence does not merely console, it transforms. It is not the idle comfort of polite words. It is an emotional cleansing that moves beneath the skin and rearranges the ragged pieces of a life. You who have carried long seasons of sorrow know this gesture. A smile that steadies a trembling spirit, a look that sees the wound without speaking shame, a quiet hand that steadies a wavering faith. That energy I give them operates like a balm and like a mirror at once. It soothes the places that ache and awakens hope that had been buried under fatigue and doubt. This is the medicine of the heart, pure, steady, and strangely inevitable when they are near. Yet understand, my child, that this light I place within them is not one-dimensional. It is not merely warm, it is clarifying. It does more than cover pain. It exposes the false coverings that have been fashioned to hide what is rotten. Light, by its very nature, reveals. When their radiance touches a life, it warms the bruises and, at the same time, draws the curtains back so truth can be seen. Do not be surprised when the same presence that makes you breathe easier also forces you to confront things you have been avoiding. The small deceptions, the half-truths told to protect ego, the convenient lies we whisper to ourselves so that we may sleep at night. Where humility is encouraged, hypocrisy will not hide. Where healing is offered, pretense is burned off. Their gift is dual, to mend and to unmask. And because of this, many will misunderstand them. The world has learned to mistake softness for vulnerability, kindness for an open door to be taken advantage of. But I will tell you plainly, their gentleness is not the absence of strength. It is strength rendered quiet by discipline. It is a self-possession that chooses mercy while wielding authority. Remember the ocean. At its surface there can be glassy calm that soothes the weary and reflects the wide sky, yet deep below there are currents and power enough to reshape coastlines. So too with the chosen ones. Their outward serenity is no accident. It is the result of a long and tested interior. They have endured fires you cannot imagine, and from those trials they have learned restraint and the art of holy patience. They have been refined, and their patience is not the empty waiting of the complacent, but the purposeful hush of someone who has learned the architecture of divine timing. When they stand silent, it is not because they are powerless. It is because they are choosing to allow my timing to work within human hearts. But be warned, should the depth of their spirit be prodded and their sacred peace be repeatedly violated, that same depth will answer. Calm seas can become a storm when the depths are disturbed. The light that heals can, under holy necessity, become a fire that consumes falsehoods, a flame that leaves only what is genuine. There are those who will test them, who will mistake their kindness for a weakness to be exploited. And there are those who will persist in hiding behind masks until the light of the chosen one forces the mask to crack. To the one who hides behind a polite lampoon of virtue while living by selfish impulse, know this. The gentle one's gaze carries the discerning steadiness of one who has walked with me. It reads the tremor under the laugh, the tremble under the bravado, and the gap between confession and action. And when the light falls upon that gap, there is no quiet leaving for deceit to hide behind. The exposure is not intended as punishment in the way the world understands punishment. Rather, it is a necessary unveiling so that healing can begin. When what is false is revealed, the choice remains. Change, repent, come clean, or remain hiding until the consequences demand transparency by their weight. Do not be angry with the chosen one when this happens. They do not shine to wound. They shine to call what is hidden into the cleansing presence that restores. Yet I also do not soften their edges because men find them inconvenient. There is an ancient rectitude in their charge. They carry not merely a softness, but a mandate to uphold what is real. Theirs is the balance of tenderness and truth, mercy and boundary, shelter and sword. When they offer mercy, it is offered from a place of discernment. When they remove the veil, it is to invite reconciliation with reality. And when their light reclines, turning inward to purge what has been allowed to thrive in shadow, the result is radical clarity. Nothing false can continue in my presence when the purifying light is let loose. What survives is the raw material I use to rebuild lives: honesty, accountability, and restored dignity. Listen, beloved. There is a profound misreading that circulates among those who are new to this way of being. They say, "Let us take advantage of that goodness. Let us push until the boundaries are revealed." But know this: to press the sanctified peace is to invite a reckoning. There is a limit to what grace will cover when grace is repeatedly betrayed. I do not delight in withdrawing my hand. But there are times when the shelter must be lifted so that the natural consequences of deception and rebellion can become teachers. The chosen one does not rejoice in exposing your weakness. They do it because the exposure is the necessary precursor to repentance and healing. Like a skilled surgeon who must cut away what is diseased before tissue can knit whole, so must what is corrupt be removed for real restoration to occur. The act of revealing is not the end. It is the beginning of true repair. To you who have felt this light and also feared it, take heart. If you have been healed, thank me and steward that healing with humility. If you have been exposed, do not harden your heart. Allow the light to do its holy work. Come to me with contrition and courage. Allow the cleansing to finish its course. For those who would hurt the chosen, who would test them for sport or selfish gain, know that their light is watched over by me. I will not leave my vessels naked before the wolves forever. The protection they extend to others is extended inward when the time demands it. Their withdrawal from you, if it should come, is not cruelty but calibration. It is a sacred reset that returns everything to the true scale of my justice and mercy. And to the chosen themselves, hear my voice like a steady flame in your chest. Your light is my gift and your responsibility. Guard it, but do not hide it. Let it heal without fear. Let it expose without malice. Use it to call the lost into the honesty that mends, to warm the cold places that fear vulnerability, to stand unafraid in the face of pretense and say, "This will not hold." Your gentleness is a fortress. Your patience is a strategic arm. Your illumination is a ministry of both comfort and correction. There will be seasons when you will weep over the fallen, and seasons when you must stand back and let truth do its disciplined work. In both, you are found faithful. So keep walking in that double-handed way I have taught you, with tenderness in one hand and the torch of truth in the other. Be the home where the weary may drink and heal. Be also the lamp that shows the way out of darkness. For those who respect this design, blessing will follow. For those who seek to exploit it, the warmth they borrowed will turn away and leave them to face their own making. My beloved, this is the nature of the light I give: to heal, to reveal, and when necessary, to purify. Receive it with reverence, steward it with humility, and never mistake its mercy for weakness, nor its patience for permission. My beloved child, hear me as I speak with clarity and with care. The patience of those I have chosen is not what the world imagines. It is not indifference, nor is it weakness wrapped in silence. Their patience is a holy strategy, a discipline born from wisdom, and a reflection of my own long-suffering mercy. They do not remain still because they lack voice. They remain still because they have discerned that silence can sometimes speak louder than words. They wait, not because they are powerless, but because they understand the sacred rhythm of time. Patience in their hands is a tool of grace, a gift extended so that others may recognize their missteps, repent of their wrongs, and align themselves with truth before the hour of consequence arrives. When you encounter their quietness, do not misinterpret it as ignorance. They see more than they reveal, and they perceive more than they say. Their silence is often an act of intercession, a space carved out for the soul of another to correct itself. In those pauses, they are allowing the possibility of change to blossom. They are giving room for conscience to rise, for integrity to take root, for humility to awaken where arrogance has held sway. This is not passivity. This is purposeful waiting, rooted in the belief that the spirit within a person can still turn back toward the light if given the chance. But make no mistake, this patience is not endless. It is not a river without banks. Just as there is a time for sowing and a time for reaping, there is a time for silence and a time for voice. When the chosen one's stillness shifts into motion, it is a sign that the season of mercy has reached its boundary. It is a sign that the window of grace is closing. When stillness becomes a storm, it is not because they have suddenly lost control. It is because the appointed moment has come when truth must step forward and speak. This change should not surprise anyone, for patience has always been tied to purpose. My chosen are deliberate with their energy. They do not scatter their words as weapons in meaningless disputes. They do not exhaust themselves in proving what I myself will make plain in due time. When they walk away, it is not reaction. It is revelation. When they finally speak, it is not to defend their ego. It is to deliver a verdict carried by my timing. Every action, every silence, every withdrawal, every declaration is orchestrated with intent. Those who take advantage of their grace often discover too late that it was never weakness that held them still, but strength restrained. Their silence is like the pause before thunder. Their patience is the hush before a storm breaks. And when that storm arrives, it is not reckless. It is righteous. It is the moment when the hand of mercy has completed its work, and the hand of truth must take its place. For chosen ones mirror my own ways. I give time for repentance. I extend mercy again and again. But when that mercy is despised and trampled upon, judgment must come. Consider carefully what this means for those who deal with them. When you see their silence, you are witnessing a holy window of opportunity. It is a space given to you to examine yourself, to turn from deceit, to step into integrity. Do not imagine that their patience will cover you forever. Do not think their stillness is your shield against consequence. Their waiting is a sign of grace. But grace unheeded turns into fire. When they finally rise to speak, it is often because every other invitation to change has been ignored. At that moment, their voice carries the weight of what has been delayed, and their words cut with the sharpness of truth. To misinterpret patience as indifference is one of the great mistakes people make with my chosen. They assume that because there is no immediate reaction, no outward display of anger, that nothing is happening. But beneath that silence, they are observing. They are measuring words against actions, weighing motives against truth. They are discerning the heart beyond the surface. And while others rush to judgment or leap into conflict, they remain still, storing their strength and waiting for my instruction. Their patience, then, is not an absence, but a presence, an intentional holding of ground until the time is right. My beloved, when chosen ones withdraw, know this as well. It is never random. Their departure is a declaration. It is their final act of truth-telling without words. To leave without bitterness, to step away without malice, is to show that their loyalty was never built on pride, but on principle. When they walk away, they are not abandoning their post. They are honoring their boundaries. They are signaling that the time of playing with fire has ended and that whatever has been sown must now be reaped. This is not cruelty. This is alignment. There is wisdom in how they extend time. They give others the chance to reveal who they truly are. They allow actions to speak, even while they themselves remain quiet. In doing so, they unmask intentions without accusation. They wait so that the truth may surface without force. But when it does, they will not deny what is seen. Their patience allows falsehood enough rope to expose itself. And when the mask finally slips, they are ready, not to destroy, but to declare what has been revealed. The world, in its impatience, cannot understand such restraint. It demands reaction, immediate proof, quick rebuttals. But my chosen know that not every battle is fought with words in the heat of the moment. Some battles are won by waiting, by allowing what is hidden to expose itself under the weight of time. Their patience is a weapon cloaked in mercy, a shield that guards their energy until it must be released. Do not confuse this with apathy. It is one of the highest forms of wisdom. To know when to be still and when to move, when to hold peace and when to release the storm. And to you who are chosen, take this as my affirmation. Your patience is not wasted. The silence you hold, though misunderstood, is a sacred act. You have been tempted to think that waiting means weakness, but I tell you now, it is power disguised. Every moment you choose to hold your tongue instead of unleashing anger, every time you choose to watch and wait instead of lashing out, you are walking in the likeness of my heart. You are carrying my rhythm, for I too give time. I too hold back wrath for the sake of mercy. Your restraint mirrors my compassion, and your eventual decision to act mirrors my justice. Do not allow the scoffers to shame you for this discipline. The world may laugh at your silence, calling it cowardice, but I call it wisdom. They may mock your refusal to react, but I call it strength under control. And when the time comes for you to act, let it not be out of wounded pride, but out of divine purpose. When you move, let it be, because I have declared that the season has changed. Let your words be few but full of weight. Let your departure be silent but unforgettable. Let your actions carry the echo of heaven's timing. Beloved, my word to you is this: do not misuse the patience of my chosen, and do not despise it. When they wait, it is because they see something worth redeeming. When they are silent, it is because they are extending to you a grace that you may not deserve, but that you still need. If you respond to that grace with humility, healing will follow. But if you exploit it, if you mock their stillness or test their limits, then when they finally move, you will understand that patience was never passive. It was purposeful, and its conclusion was always meant to reveal truth. Mark this well. When their patience ends, the change is irreversible. The moment the stillness becomes a storm, the opportunity to repent quietly has passed. What remains is exposure, clarity, and consequence. This is why patience should never be mistaken for permission. It is not an open door to continue in deceit. It is a season of mercy meant to draw you into change. Once it is wasted, the chosen one will not waste themselves further. They will not linger in cycles that dishonor their calling. They will not chain themselves to what refuses to grow. They will walk away. And in that walking, you will see that their patience was never infinite. It was an opportunity. My beloved child, hold this truth close. Chosen ones do not wait idly. They wait with intent, with faith, with vision. Their silence is not emptiness, but fullness held back. Their patience is not weakness, but strength carefully restrained. And when their season of waiting ends, it is because heaven itself has declared enough. That is when the storm breaks, not to destroy for destruction's sake, but to clear the air so that what is real may finally stand without disguise. Therefore, revere their patience and do not test it. Recognize in their stillness the gift of time and the chance for change. See in their waiting the reflection of my heart that longs to heal before it must judge. And to you, chosen one, remain steady in this sacred discipline. For your patience is not wasted, and your silence is not empty. It is a holy act that I see, and I will honor it in due season. My beloved child, I tell you this with gravity and with love. When my chosen ones break their silence and their restraint, what flows forth is not the petty anger of flesh, but the verdict of heaven. Their explosion is not the loss of control that the world associates with temper. It is a sacred eruption, a channeling of my justice through their voice, their presence, their very being. Do not mistake it for mere emotion. What you are witnessing in those rare and trembling moments is the weight of truth, long held in silence, now breaking into sound like thunder splitting the sky. Understand this. They are not easily provoked. My chosen ones do not spend themselves on trifles. They are not quick to quarrel or eager to prove themselves right. Their lives are rooted in deep wells of wisdom and discipline. They are grounded in discernment, anchored in compassion, and slow to wrath because they reflect my patience. Yet when betrayal comes with intention, when their grace is mocked repeatedly, when their soul is violated with disregard, the patience you once thought endless gives way to an unveiling of judgment. What rises in them is not ego, it is righteousness. What you hear in their words is not the fury of man, it is the fire of God moving through human lips. In that moment, their voice carries an otherworldly resonance. It cuts through illusion like a blade forged in eternity. The chosen one does not scream without reason. They do not lash out in blind rage. Rather, they speak words that land like prophecy, words that strike the hidden places of darkness and expose what has been lurking in shadow. Their eruption is purposeful, targeted, precise. It is not a weapon thrown wildly, but a sword that strikes directly at the root. Those who hear it cannot dismiss it, for the words are too exact, too piercing, too aligned with reality to be ignored. This is why their outburst feels unforgettable, because it is not theirs alone. It is truth declaring itself through them. My child, see how different this is from human anger. Human anger punishes to release frustration. Human wrath seeks revenge or satisfaction. But when my chosen one bursts forth, it is not to satisfy their ego. It is to reveal. Their eruption serves revelation, not retaliation. They uncover what was hidden. They strip away the pretense. They tear down the walls of denial so that what has been concealed must stand exposed in the light. They are not instruments of cruelty, but of clarity. And clarity, though it stings, is the beginning of healing. For nothing can be restored until it has first been revealed. Do not think lightly of this power. When they snap, their words resound like a gavel striking in my courtroom. It is a cosmic verdict, a holy decree spoken through mortal breath. This is why it leaves such a mark. People remember their words for years, sometimes for lifetimes, because those words were never meant to fade. They were arrows of truth, fired with divine accuracy, meant to pierce illusions and open eyes that had long been shut. They are unforgettable because they are not born of impulse, but of destiny. Beloved, let this be your understanding. Their eruption is rare, but it is sacred. Do not provoke it. Do not test their silence with continued deception. Do not think that because they are quiet, they are blind, or that because they are merciful, they are weak. When the chosen one finally speaks with fire, it is because the season of concealment has ended. It is because the time has come for truth to be named aloud. And once that happens, there is no retreat, no undoing, no pretending it was not said. For what comes out of their mouth in that hour is sealed with the weight of heaven, and no argument can erase it. Consider also the mercy embedded even within their eruption. They do not explode over minor offenses. They do not spend themselves correcting every slight or addressing every insult. No, they save their voice for the matters that matter. They rise only when the integrity of the soul is threatened, when deceit has gone too far, when the sacred within them or around them has been violated. Their outburst is not common because it is not cheap. It is reserved for the weightiest matters, and that is why it bears such force. When it comes with the authority of one who has seen too much and can remain silent no longer. To those who receive such words, know that you are standing on holy ground. Do not harden your heart. Their voice may shake you, may strip you, may leave you undone, but it is not meant to annihilate you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to show you yourself as you are, without mask or excuse. To resist that revelation is to resist your own deliverance. To despise their eruption is to despise the truth I am offering you through them. Do not make that mistake. For I do not send these eruptions often, but when I do, they are opportunities for transformation. And to you, my chosen one, receive this assurance. Your eruption is not shameful. The enemy would whisper that your passion is a flaw, that your fire makes you unlovable, that your words wound more than they heal. But I tell you this: when you are moved by my spirit, when your silence breaks because I have declared it is time, your words are not your own. They are my hammer breaking the rock of deceit. They are my fire burning the dross away. They are my verdict cutting through the noise of excuses and laying bare what must be seen. Do not fear the intensity I placed within you. Do not apologize for the truth that bursts out of you when provoked beyond holy measure. You are not acting out of rage. You are channeling revelation. My beloved, this is why their impact is unforgettable. Their words may echo like thunder in the mind of the one who hears them, not because they shouted, but because the truth reverberates long after the sound has ceased. Their eruption is not about volume. It is about authority. You can hear a whisper from them and feel as though the ground has shifted beneath your feet. This is because they are not speaking alone. They are vessels of a reality larger than themselves. So understand this well. When a chosen one snaps, it is not pettiness, it is prophecy. It is not vengeance, it is vision. It is not cruelty, it is clarity. And though it may come with heat, though it may feel like fire against the skin, it is the kind of fire that refines as much as it burns. If you will let it, it will shape you. If you resist it, it will haunt you. Either way, it cannot be forgotten, for it is not meant to be. It is a milestone moment, a dividing line between what was hidden and what is now exposed. Beloved, I tell you this so you will not misunderstand my ways. My chosen are not free to erupt whenever they please. They are not slaves to emotion. They are disciplined vessels, and their fire is reserved for the appointed hour. If you have ever stood in the wake of such a moment, you know how weighty it feels, how sobering, how impossible to dismiss. That weight is the echo of my presence. That force is the shadow of my judgment. That memory is the imprint of my truth upon your soul. And you, chosen one, do not despise your fire. Do not fear your eruption when it comes from the deep places I have sanctified. For you are not meant to be silent forever. You are not meant to carry the burden of endless patience without release. You are meant to mirror my own nature, merciful, long-suffering, but also just. And when the balance tips, when mercy has been extended and mocked, when patience has been stretched and scorned, then justice must arise. In you, that justice may sound like a roar. It may feel like fire. It may shake foundations. But it is holy. Therefore, walk humbly in this gift. Guard your silence, extend your patience, but do not fear the storm within you. For when I release it, it is not you acting alone. It is heaven speaking through you. And all who hear will know. This is not human wrath. This is divine judgment, flowing through flesh and bone, carrying truth to the very root of darkness, leaving a mark that time itself cannot erase. My beloved child, hear me as I unfold this truth for you. Those I have chosen are not only carriers of light and voices of truth, they are protectors by nature. The spirit I placed within them is drawn instinctively toward the vulnerable, toward the voiceless, toward those the world has overlooked or cast aside. Their presence becomes a refuge, a strong tower for the weary, a place of covering for the fragile. When they step into a space, something unseen surrounds them, an invisible fortress that makes others feel safe, even if they cannot explain why. This protective mantle is not an affectation, it is a calling. It rises from deep within them, like a reflex, for they were created to stand between darkness and innocence, to defend what is pure from what seeks to corrupt. But, my child, this instinct is not directed outward alone. My chosen also guard the inner chambers of their own soul. They are tender, but they are not reckless with the tenderness I have entrusted to them. Their compassion does not come at the cost of their own annihilation. Too often, the world mistakes kindness for a lack of boundaries, imagining that those who give freely will also allow themselves to be consumed. This is not so with the ones I have marked. They have learned that to preserve the gift of their light, they must guard their spirit as fiercely as they guard others. Their goodness is not self-abandonment. It is disciplined stewardship of the treasure within them. When someone attempts to violate that sacred space, when manipulations or repeated offenses intrude upon the sanctuary of their peace, the chosen one does not simply endure endlessly. They rise with the sword of discernment I have placed in their hand. That sword is not wielded to destroy, but to separate, to cut away what poisons and to guard what is holy. In spiritual warfare, they are not novices. Their trials have seasoned them. Their scars have trained them. And their discernment is sharp from years of learning what to let in and what to cast out. They are not easily fooled, nor are they easily shaken. For they have been taught by fire to recognize the patterns of darkness and to stand unafraid against them. You see, my beloved, their act of cutting ties is not an act of vengeance. It is not born of bitterness or spite. It is rather an act of cleansing, a form of spiritual hygiene. Just as one washes away dirt to preserve the body's health, so too do they wash away toxic connections to preserve the health of their soul. They do not rage when they step back, they clarify. They do not scream accusations. They quietly remove themselves from what no longer honors the divine alignment within them. This is not cruelty, it is wisdom. It is the acknowledgement that not every connection is meant to remain, that not every voice deserves a place in their sacred circle, that not every presence can be carried forward into the next season. Those who are shielded by the chosen may not always recognize the protection they receive. It is often subtle, felt more than seen. They will stand in front of someone who is being mocked. They will speak for the one whose voice trembles. They will shield the fragile heart with their own strength. But the same passion that makes them defenders of others fuels their defense of their own spirit. They refuse to let constant abuse or manipulation drain them of the light they are called to steward. They know that if their flame is extinguished, those around them will also lose the warmth they so freely give. And so they guard their flame with vigilance, even if it means drawing boundaries that others may not understand. Do not misread their withdrawal as unloving. To step away from toxicity is not to abandon love, it is to preserve it. A chosen one knows the difference between sacrifice and self-destruction. They are willing to pour themselves out when the Spirit leads them, but they are not willing to become slaves to cycles of exploitation. Their love is strong, but it is also wise. Their compassion is deep, but it is also discerning. When they choose to cut ties, it is not because they no longer care. It is because they have cared enough to see the truth and to honor the call within themselves. Beloved, I want you to see the depth of this truth. Their presence as protectors is not random. It is rooted in their identity. They were fashioned to carry this mantle. From the time of their formation, they were designed to carry both tenderness and tenacity. Their love draws them near to the brokenhearted, but their strength shields them from being destroyed by the very pain they seek to heal. This balance is not natural. It is supernatural. It is the result of my hand, shaping them into vessels who can carry both mercy and might. And yet, many who encounter them misunderstand. They think the chosen one will never walk away. They assume that endless compassion means endless tolerance. But this is not the truth. There is a threshold in their spirit, a place where grace has done all it can do. Beyond that point, to remain would be to dishonor their calling and to endanger the gift within them. At that threshold, they do not curse or retaliate. They simply step back. They disappear, not in malice, but in clarity. The sword is drawn, not to wound, but to cut cleanly the cords that bind them to what hinders their purpose. To those who experience this withdrawal, it may feel sudden, even harsh. But understand, the chosen one's absence is a message. It is a testimony that their boundaries have been crossed too many times, that their mercy has been tested beyond its sacred limit. Their silence in that moment is more powerful than 1,000 words. Their absence speaks louder than accusation. It says without saying that the space they once held in your life is no longer sustainable, and the loss you feel is the echo of what their presence once covered. And to you who are chosen, I remind you, do not feel guilt for guarding your soul. Do not apologize for drawing lines that protect your spirit. This instinct I placed within you is holy. To defend others while neglecting yourself is not righteousness. It is imbalance. I call you to both. Protect the innocent around you, yes, but also protect the sacred chamber of your own heart. For from that chamber flows the light and the wisdom I have given you. If it is polluted, If it is drained, then the gift you carry cannot be sustained. You must steward it well, and sometimes that stewardship requires you to walk away. This is the paradox of their nature. They are both shelter and sword, haven and guardian, embrace and barrier. They embody the tenderness of compassion and the firmness of justice. They are soft enough to comfort, but strong enough to confront. They defend with mercy, and they defend with truth. Their protection is not selective, it is comprehensive. It covers the widow and the orphan, the stranger and the friend, the sacred and the self. And this dual calling is what makes them so formidable in the unseen battles of life. So remember this, beloved. When you see a chosen one step in to defend the weak, recognize the mantle they carry. When you see them walk away from toxicity, respect the wisdom behind their silence. Do not misjudge their withdrawal as bitterness, nor their boundaries as arrogance. It is neither. It is spiritual hygiene, an act of cleansing meant to preserve what is holy. And if you are privileged enough to be sheltered by their presence, cherish it. For to stand under their covering is to stand under a fortress I myself have built. And to lose it is to feel the absence of a shield you may not have known was there. This, my child, is why the chosen cannot be trifled with. They may be patient, they may be kind, but they are also warriors. They are protectors of the light, guardians of the innocent, and stewards of their own sacred peace. They do not fight with fists, but with discernment. They do not wound for sport, but defend with precision. And when they step away, when they cut ties, when they guard themselves from further harm, know that they are not abandoning their call. They are fulfilling it. For protection, in its truest form, begins with the defense of the sacred within and extends outward to the world. So, my beloved, let this truth rest in you. The chosen one's protection is both shield and sword, both mercy and might. Honor it, respect it, and never confuse it with weakness. For their love is fierce, their boundaries holy, and their defense unshakable. They are protectors by design, of others, of truth, and of themselves. And in this balance lies their strength, their resilience, and their unyielding alignment with me. My beloved child, listen closely as I reveal the mystery of the chosen one's anger. Their rage is unlike the noise of this world, for it does not manifest in shouting matches, desperate pleas, or endless debates. It does not spend itself in arguments or in the exhausting struggle to be heard. Instead, their anger is quiet, measured, and devastating in its silence. When they are deeply betrayed, when their boundaries are mocked, when their loyalty is abused, they do not lower themselves to quarrel. They do not beg to be valued. They do not fight for recognition. Rather, they choose to retreat, to withdraw fully, to disappear without fanfare or drama. And in that retreat, their power speaks louder than any words could ever declare. This is the paradox, beloved. Their rage is not expressed through volume, but through absence. When they remove themselves from your life, the silence they leave behind echoes like thunder. What once was stabilized by their presence suddenly collapses. The peace they carried leaves with them, and what remains is the very chaos their presence had been holding back. Many do not realize how much the chosen one sustains until they are gone. They fail to see that the calm in the room, the order in the environment, the balance in relationships, was flowing quietly from the energy of the chosen. And when that current is withdrawn, Everything they had kept from unraveling begins to unravel at once. Their departure becomes a mirror. It reflects back to others what they have sown. It forces confrontation with the very behaviors and choices that once were softened by the chosen one's patience and grace. When their protective covering is lifted, you are left face to face with the truth of what you created. Their absence becomes judgment, not by accusation, not by vengeance, but by revelation. Life itself and the consequences of your actions now deliver the verdict. This is why their quiet withdrawal is annihilating. Because the shield that covered you is no longer there, and the storm you had been protected from is now free to descend. Understand this, my child. Their rage is not reactive, but reflective. They do not seek to punish with fists or words. Instead, they step back and allow truth to take its rightful course. They trust that the laws of sowing and reaping, the eternal patterns I set into place, will unfold as they are meant to. They know they do not need to shout to be heard, for time itself will speak louder than their voice. Their absence is the stage upon which consequence performs its play. Those who once dismissed their silence as weakness will learn that their quiet was the final act of strength, the ultimate declaration that enough has been endured. This is why their rage terrifies without noise. For in the stillness they leave behind, every heart begins to feel the weight of what was lost. The warmth of their presence is gone, and suddenly the cold becomes unbearable. The harmony they carried is no longer present, and the discord rings louder. Their covering was so seamless, so gentle, that many took it for granted. But when it vanishes, the void speaks with undeniable power. That void is not emptiness. It is truth unveiled. And truth, left to itself, can shatter illusions far more completely than any shouted words ever could. Beloved, let this sober you. The chosen one does not walk away quickly. Their patience, as I have told you, is purposeful. They linger long, they extend mercy, they offer time for change. But when their patience has been scorned, when their boundaries have been crossed beyond redemption, when their spirit has been trampled upon without regard, their withdrawal is final. And that finality is part of what makes it so devastating. For there is no pleading that will bring them back once the decision has been sealed in their spirit. They do not return to cycles of destruction. They do not reopen doors that I have commanded shut. Their departure is not a tactic to manipulate. It is an ending, a severing, a holy closure. This is their way of anger. They will not engage in prolonged battles that drain their spirit. They will not waste breath trying to convince those determined to misunderstand. They will not fight for a place where they were never valued. They simply remove themselves, and in doing so, they shift the entire atmosphere. The collapse that follows is not of their making. It is the revelation of what their presence had been preserving all along. They do not destroy. They simply stop holding things together. And without their stabilizing presence, the structures built on falsehoods crumble under their own weight. Hear this well, my child. Chosen ones understand that silence can be louder than words, and absence can strike harder than confrontation. Their decision to walk away is their verdict. It communicates that no further energy will be invested, no further grace extended, no further protection offered. And in that declaration, everything hidden comes rushing into the open. The consequences that had been delayed by their mercy now arrive without resistance. The very life that once leaned on their strength now feels the weight of its own instability. To those who experience such a withdrawal, do not mistake it for indifference. It is not that they do not care. It is that they have cared too deeply for too long, and to remain would be to betray themselves and their calling. Their absence is their final gift of truth to you. It says, "Look now at what you have created without my covering." It compels you to see, without filter or cushion, the full cost of your choices. And though it may feel harsh, it is in reality the most merciful way to deliver judgment, by letting you sit with the truth until it becomes undeniable. And to you, my chosen ones, hear this encouragement. Your silence is not weakness, and your withdrawal is not cruelty. It is wisdom. It is alignment. It is the expression of holy boundaries that preserve your spirit and your assignment. Do not let the enemy accuse you when you walk away. Do not carry guilt for removing yourself from what seeks to consume you. For your absence speaks with my authority. It shakes foundations not because you willed destruction, but because you ceased to carry what was never yours to carry. And in that release, you honor me. My beloved, this is why the world both reveres and fears the chosen. Their presence brings blessing, their silence carries warning, and their absence reveals truth. To provoke their anger is not to endure an argument, it is to lose a covering. To mock their patience is not to hear them shout, it is to find them gone. And when they are gone, the emptiness they leave behind becomes the loudest sound of all. It thunders through the conscience, it echoes through the soul, and it cannot be silenced until it is faced. So respect the silence of my chosen. Cherish their presence while you have it. Honor the protection they extend and never presume upon it. For when it is withdrawn, you will know in ways you cannot ignore that their rage was never loud, but it was always annihilating. Their absence is their final judgment, and their silence is the storm that follows. This, my child, is the power of their quiet rage, to let truth itself become the destroyer, while they walk away in peace, leaving behind a void that speaks louder than any voice could ever speak. My beloved child, attend to the depth of this truth I place before you. Those I have chosen are endowed with a spirit seeing, a sacred discernment that reads the unseen as easily as others read a face. Their intuition is not a fleeting hunch, nor the product of mere sensitivity. It is a divinely guided instrument, honed by my presence and sharpened through trial. They perceive the currents beneath a person's words and the motives that float like ghosts behind a pleasant tone. Where many are content with surface gestures, they sense the architecture of motive, the tremor that betrays intention, the shadow that lies beneath a smile. This is not intuition as entertainment. It is a ministry of seeing, a spiritual faculty I have given to protect, to discern, and to guide. In their gaze, the small deceptions and the large betrayals become visible, and that vision gives them a posture of holy preparedness. Know, beloved, that this sight is seldom boastful. The chosen do not parade their knowing. Many times they will remain quiet, watching, weighing, and praying, because not every insight needs to be announced. Their secrecy is mercy. Their withholding is wisdom. They understand that revelation spoken at the wrong hour can wound rather than mend. And so they learn patience in the use of sight. Yet when manipulation is applied, when someone attempts to bend their tenderness into an advantage, that very intuition awakens into a razor. It becomes precise and swift. cutting through the smoke of deceit and exposing the hidden design of the other. In that blade-like clarity, motives are exposed: the selfish pattern, the repeated offense, the camouflage of charm that masks a corrosive heart. This is why toxic people fear them. A person who lives in shadow, who disguises selfishness with charm, who covers cruelty with humor, who markets manipulation as affection, will find no comfortable hiding place near the chosen. The presence of a person who reads soul energy is an accusation in itself, for it requires the shadow to meet the light. When the chosen simply stands in a room, the toxic one feels seen, cornered by a gaze that does not flinch. They become restless and inaccurate, and their carefully constructed stories begin to unravel under the weight of a quiet witness. The more they attempt to weave deception, the clearer their pattern becomes to the eyes that have learned to read the invisible script of the heart. Understand, too, that their use of truth is an act of stewardship. The weapon of truth is not a cudgel to bludgeon pride for sport. It is a scalpel to remove the tumors of deceit so life may heal. They apply it not for vengeance, but for restoration, though restoration often begins with discomfort. To the manipulator, their words will feel like an unmasking, an unrelenting clarity that reveals motive, action, and consequence in a way that is humiliating and disorienting, because exposure often precedes repentance. Yet humiliation that leads to humility is preferable to a comfortable hypocrisy that hardens the soul. Thus, their truth is offered to call one back to the path of honesty, to summon integrity where pretense has taken root. Do not mistake the precision of their insight for arrogance. It is not theirs to lord over others, but to steward on my behalf. Their discernment is a ministry of alignment. When they speak truth into a situation, it carries a weight that is not merely human. It has the authority of one who knows the maps of the heart. Their words land with a clarity that compels acknowledgement because they are anchored to my seeing. Excuses and rationalizations falter under that clarity. Plausible deniability loses its soft edge. The voice of the chosen is often calm, yet undeniable, and those who hear it recognize, even if reluctantly, that something essential has been named and must now be faced. There is, beloved, a balance they keep between speaking and holding back. For the mercy that guides their tongue is matched by an insistence on justice. They know when a word will heal and when it will wound without purpose, and so they steward their revelations like a priest tending the altar. Words are not thrown carelessly from them. Each name, each truth, is offered with intention and prayer that hearts may turn. When their truth is given, it is meant to be a doorway to repair rather than a trap. They aim to restore what remains salvageable, to call the hidden into the light so real repentance can begin. This careful posture is itself an overflow of my compassion, a refusal to break a life when mending is possible, and yet a refusal also to permit continued deception under the veil of mercy. There are moments when the chosen will not announce what they know because timing matters. A truth delivered too soon can wound without leading to healing. Thus they wait until the moment is opportune, until the word will land in a heart prepared to reckon. But when the hour arrives, they speak with an economy of words and a sharpness that leaves no soft landing for deceit. What they articulate in that hour is not petty gossip or vindictive accusation. It is the articulation of what must be acknowledged for restoration to begin. They have learned that measured disclosure, aligned with my timing, often yields repentance and transformation in ways that a hurried exposure never could. Toxic individuals are unsettled not because the chosen are loud, but because the chosen are true. The quiet confidence of a person who discerns inner motive is a force of nature. It removes the comfortable fog that allows deception to continue. Lies need shadow to survive, and the chosen bring a light that makes shadows flee. When a manipulator is confronted by that light, their options evaporate. Continue the charade and risk public unmasking, or step into accountability and face the dismantling of the structures they built on falsehood. That is why such people are uncomfortable in the presence of the chosen. Truth dismantles their refuge. Beloved, there is also a sacred restraint in how they use their perception. They do not delight in breaking illusions for the sake of spectacle. They long for rehabilitation of the heart. Their truth is guided by mercy, framed by patience, and executed with caution. Yet mercy does not negate justice. If someone persists in harmful patterns after being confronted with clarity, the chosen will not continue to harbor them. Mercy has a limit when pride persists without change, and divine order demands correction where restoration has been refused. In such times, their discernment enforces boundaries, not to punish, but to preserve the possibility of future healing. To those who would hide behind charm, know this: you do not escape my sight by practicing deceit in soft tones. The chosen perceive more than behavior. They perceive the inner architecture of motive and consequence. Your craftiness is apparent to them, as fingerprints on glass, and when they point to what they see, understand that their naming of it is not spite. It is my light doing its work through someone who has been formed to hold it. They are not judges by personal whim. They are conduits of revelation anchored to me, appointed to call things as they are for the sake of integrity and wholeness. And to you who bear this gift, I speak tenderly. Steward it with humility. Your perception will tempt you toward pride if you are not vigilant. The more you know, the greater your temptation to wield that knowing for control. Resist that path. Let truth be administered as medicine, not as a platform. Use it to dismantle structures of harm and to build paths of healing. Use it to protect the vulnerable and to call the proud back to humility. Let your revelations be baptized in prayer, and let each word be measured against mercy. Finally, beloved, remember that truth wielded by the chosen has authority because it is tethered to me. It is not a private insight used for private gain. It is a sacred instrument charged with the work of exposing what hides from light. When it lands with a force that compels response. The toxic will recoil, the truth seekers will breathe a relief, and the clouds of pretense will begin to break. This is the power of divinely precise discernment. It does not flail. It does not boast. It does not seek spectacle. It simply names what is true, so that what remains may be mended or moved in alignment with my will. My beloved child, listen carefully as I open this next truth to you. The hearts of those I have chosen beat with compassion. Mercy flows from them as naturally as breath, for they are vessels of my love. They are quick to forgive, eager to pray, willing to stand beside even those who have wounded them. They believe in redemption, in the possibility of change, in the long journey of restoration. Their hope does not wither easily. They extend grace where others would close doors. They give second chances when others would turn away. They wait with faith that healing can come, that brokenness can be mended, that the story can be rewritten with humility and repentance. But my child, though their mercy is vast, it is not without boundary. There is a threshold to their compassion, a point at which continued betrayal and dishonor can no longer be shielded by their covering. Do not mistake their willingness to forgive as permission to harm again. Do not confuse their prayers for you as approval of your cycles. Their mercy is strong, but it is not infinite. For mercy is not meant to become license for destruction. It is meant to create room for transformation. When that room is trampled, when truth is consistently denied, when lessons are stubbornly ignored, the patience of mercy completes its course and gives way to a different order, one of consequence. This is the solemn line, beloved. Chosen ones will not carry endlessly those who refuse to change. They will intercede, they will wait, they will pour themselves out. But when their spirit discerns that grace has been mocked beyond return, something in them shifts. The same hand that held you up in prayer will let go. The shield that deflected storms on your behalf will be withdrawn, not in spite, not in hatred, but in alignment with my will. For mercy that is endlessly abused ceases to be mercy. It becomes participation in bondage. And my chosen are not appointed to enable chains, but to break them. When this limit is reached, the withdrawal of their covering is felt with shocking clarity. Suddenly, the consequences that had been held back by their prayers come rushing in. The storms they had been shielding you from no longer divert around your life. The weight of your choices, once softened by their intercession, now falls upon you unfiltered. This is not their punishment. It is your reality finally meeting you face to face. For when the chosen step aside, they are no longer standing between you and the fruit of your actions. Life, with all its justice and its laws of sowing and reaping, will show you plainly what you have cultivated. Do not confuse this with unforgiveness. Even when they let go, the chosen may still forgive you in their heart. They may release bitterness. They may wish you well from afar. They may pray quietly for your soul. But forgiveness does not mean continued access. Forgiveness does not mean endless tolerance of harm. Forgiveness can coexist with separation, and mercy can coexist with boundaries. The difference lies here. A second chance is offered for repentance, not for repeated abuse. A window of grace is extended for change, not for cycles of destruction. When that window closes, it is not because love has ceased, but because truth has demanded a reckoning. Beloved, understand this clearly. Mercy is meant to lift you, not excuse you. It is designed to awaken conscience, not to silence it. When the chosen one forgives, it is an invitation for you to step into newness. When they intercede for you, it is a chance to realign your path. But if you take that forgiveness as permission to continue deceiving, if you use their compassion as a cover to persist in harm, then you are not walking in grace. You are trampling it. And grace trampled will eventually withdraw. For I will not allow my vessels to be endlessly consumed by those who scorn the gift I placed within them. Their mercy has limits because mercy is holy. It is not meant to be corrupted into cycles of exploitation. The chosen one's heart may ache as they pull away, but they know it is necessary. They know that their presence, once protective, has become enabling. And in their wisdom, they step aside to allow truth to finish what mercy could not. That is not rejection, it is alignment. They align themselves with my justice, refusing to shield anyone from the lessons I intend them to face. For sometimes the only way a hardened heart awakens is when the covering of mercy is removed and the raw weight of consequence is felt. To those who would take advantage of their mercy, let this be your warning. You are not merely toying with a kind heart. You are trampling on a soul sent from above. You are scorning not just their compassion, but the divine compassion that flows through them. And when that compassion retracts, it is not only their presence you lose, it is the divine shield that their intercession invoked on your behalf. That loss is heavy. That absence is costly. And the void left in its place will confront you with a truth you can no longer avoid, that mercy is a gift, not a guarantee, and its abuse carries a price. And to you, my chosen ones, I speak with tenderness. Do not feel shame when your mercy reaches its end. Do not feel guilty when you must step back. Your compassion is precious, but it must be stewarded with wisdom. To extend mercy without end to those who abuse it is to betray the gift I entrusted to you. Know the difference between forgiveness and enabling. Know when to pray and remain, and know when to pray and release. For your call is not to be consumed, but to carry light. And light cannot survive if it is endlessly surrounded by darkness that refuses to change. When you withdraw your covering, do it not with bitterness, but with clarity. Let your absence speak the truth that your presence once shielded. Trust that the lesson carried by consequence may yet do what your mercy could not. And remember, your withdrawal does not negate your love, it honors it. For real love refuses to enable destruction. Real love steps aside when necessary, so truth can do its work. Real love knows when mercy has reached its holy boundary. My beloved child, take this deeply to heart. Mercy is holy, but it is not naive. It bends, but it does not break. It extends, but it does not surrender to endless abuse. It reaches again and again, but it knows when to release. Those who honor mercy will find healing in its embrace. Those who exploit it will find themselves naked without its covering. This is not cruelty. It is justice woven into mercy's fabric. And justice, though it may sting, is itself a form of mercy, for it aims to awaken before it is too late. So walk with reverence toward the mercy of the chosen. Cherish it if you are given it. Do not squander it. And if you are a chosen one yourself, remember that your mercy is a river, not an ocean without shores. It has boundaries, and those boundaries are sacred. Guard them, honor them, and let them teach those around you that compassion is not weakness. And forgiveness is not an invitation to exploit, for in your limits lies your strength. And in your strength lies the reflection of my own nature. Merciful, yes, but also just. Patient, but also firm. Loving, but never blind. Thus, my child, let it be clear, the mercy of the chosen is vast, but it has a holy threshold. And when that threshold is crossed, mercy gives way to truth. Covering is lifted, and consequence takes its rightful place. This is the divine order, and it cannot be mocked. Cherish mercy while it is near, for it is your chance at healing. But do not scorn it, for if you do, you will find that its withdrawal is the most sobering judgment of all. My beloved child, hear me as I speak of the atmosphere that follows those I have anointed. They do not simply enter a room and take up space. They alter the climate of that space with a frequency I place within them. Their presence is a field of order in the midst of chaos, a current of peace that steadies trembling hearts, a shaft of light that brings clarity where confusion had thickened. When they walk into a gathering, anxiety softens, sharp edges dull, and people breathe differently because the air itself has been tuned to a higher register. This is not a trick of sentiment. It is a spiritual effect that brings the scattered soul into coherence and makes room for healing. Understand, beloved, that this change is not superficial. The energy they carry organizes the chaotic into configuration, brings coherence to scattered attention, and creates a crucible where truth can surface without being shouted. They bring a frequency of peace that becomes contagious, drawing down tension and lifting fog. In many situations, conflicts cool simply because their spirit is present. Arguments lose momentum, and resentments that might have flared are soothed by the steadying lawfulness they carry. Their arrival is a blessing to the tired and a correction to the unsteady, for they perform the quiet work of restoration by realigning the atmosphere to the ways of truth and order. Yet take careful note, child, that this same frequency can be inverted when it is disturbed. The sacred harmony they bring is fragile in the sense that it requires reverence. It is not a power to be toyed with. When their peace is respected, it blesses and protects. When it is attacked, mocked, or violated, the atmosphere shifts in the opposite direction. Disturb their equilibrium deliberately, and the very air that once soothed will thicken with tension. Conversations break, laughter stalls, small comforts fall away, and the light that once allowed ease begins to press against the shadows it had already begun to expose. This reversal is not mere moodiness. It is a spiritual reaction to offense against what I have placed in them. Such reversals are not merely symbolic. When the chosen one is unsettled, their energy radiates disturbance into the surroundings. It is invisible, but it moves muscles and minds. The weight of the atmosphere presses on conversations, causing words to falter, eyes to drop, and movement to slow. There's a contagious awkwardness that makes people aware of their own contradictions and deceptions. That awareness, though uncomfortable, is necessary because it brings a reckoning to places that had been allowed to remain comfortable in denial. The chosen one does not have to speak for the truth to become audible. The space itself begins to testify. Beloved, learn to respect the presence of such people. Even in their silence, they speak volumes. Their quiet is a proclamation. Their stillness is a sermon. Do not mistake their lack of words for absence of authority. Their spirit communicates through the space it occupies, and that communication is often more compelling than any orator's rhetoric. Treat them with reverence, for to stand in their presence is to stand where heaven's frequency has been lowered. Honor the field they create by carrying yourself with humility, and do not presume to treat sacred air as if it were ordinary. This dynamic explains why people feel changes without knowing the cause. It is not imagination when the mood shifts as they enter or leave. It is spiritual physics. The chosen do not merely alter conversations. They influence decisions, de-escalate tensions, and create space for clarity. Their presence is a living instrument of peace that rearranges interpersonal dynamics so that healing can begin. And when they withdraw or are provoked, the contraction that follows forces hidden things into the open, because the stabilizing current that once held those things back has been removed. The result is revelation by absence. There is a practical implication here, beloved. If you have a chosen one in your life, protect the space they occupy by not violating it with careless acts. Honor their boundaries and be mindful of how your words and actions affect the subtle balance they maintain. And if you are the chosen one, steward your energy with humility. Know that your presence impacts more than you can see. It shapes atmospheres and alters paths. Walk with intentionality, for your steps raise or lower the frequency around those who rely on you, even when they do not yet understand why. When provocation comes, the change in atmosphere acts as a divine alarm that draws attention to what has been hidden and refuses to let ordinary life proceed as if nothing were wrong. In meetings, decisions halt. In homes, conversation grows thin. In relationships, polite masks slip and truth emerges. People sense this before they can name it, and that sensing forces an accountability that words alone rarely bring. This accountability is not retribution, but correction. The rhythm of the chosen one's presence is a quiet pedagogy, teaching communities to prefer integrity over convenience, to respect limits, and to honor the sacredness of souls. Where their frequency is received, institutions and families move toward steadier practices. Ethical shortcuts lose their footing and collective health strengthens. Where that frequency is mocked or ignored, entropy increases and trust corrodes, because the stabilizing current has been denied. This gift is stewardship, not domination. Their energy elevates, orders, and heals. When violated, it warns and withdraws. Cherish the field they create, and you will receive clarity and peace. Presume upon it, and you will feel the cost of absence. The chosen one's atmosphere is mercy to those who honor it and measure to those who profane it. Learn to read this spiritual weather and grow in humility. Do not ignore the signal. Respond with reverence and care. My beloved child, now hear my counsel to you concerning those I have set apart as my chosen ones. If such a soul has been placed in your life, you must treat their presence with reverence. Do not trivialize what I have entrusted to them, for they carry more than kindness, more than gentleness, more than patience. They are vessels of my spirit, and their presence is not ordinary. To dishonor them is to dishonor the covering I have given you through them. Their tenderness is not weakness, and their silence is not ignorance. Be careful how you measure them, for your judgment will reveal more about you than about them. Do not confuse their kindness for fragility. Their kindness is rooted in strength, not in lack of discernment. They extend goodness not because they cannot resist evil, but because they have chosen a higher way. They restrain their hand because they know the cost of misused power. They forgive because they understand the burden of bitterness. Their mercy is a reflection of my own mercy, and their patience mirrors my long-suffering. But make no mistake, to take advantage of that kindness is to invite a storm. To exploit their mercy is to mock my spirit. And to test their patience is to awaken a force you will not be able to control. Do not treat their silence as stupidity. They see what you think, they do not. They know more than they say. Their quietness is often intercession. Their stillness often discernment. When they do not speak, it is not because they are blind, but because they are wise enough to wait. They allow room for you to reveal yourself. They grant time for truth to surface. But if you mistake that stillness for ignorance and presume upon it, you set yourself against the very wisdom that guards them. Their silence is not absence of knowledge. It is the fullness of restraint. I caution you with solemn words. Do not attempt to restrain those who can call down fire with a single prayer. Do not provoke those whose alignment with me allows heaven to respond when they cry out. Their authority is not born of position or title, but of intimacy with me. When they kneel, the heavens listen. When they declare, the atmosphere shifts. When they intercede, protection surrounds. This is why I warn you not to trifle with them. To oppose them unjustly is to stand in the path of a power greater than you comprehend. To belittle them is to invite exposure, for I defend my chosen ones when they are mocked or diminished. If you are privileged enough to walk with such a one, honor them. Do not demand from them more than they are called to give. Do not take their grace as your entitlement. Do not lean on their strength while scorning their boundaries. Instead, respect the sacredness of their presence. Be grateful for the covering they bring. Learn from their restraint, from their discipline, from their humility. For their life is a living sermon, a demonstration of strength under control. They are teachers without always speaking, guides without always directing, protectors without always declaring. And to you, my chosen one, I speak now with affirmation. Hear me clearly. Your niceness is not a flaw. Your grace is not naivety. Your mercy does not make you weak. It takes great strength to be kind in a cruel world. It takes wisdom to remain gentle when provoked. It takes courage to forgive when betrayed. The world may mock your restraint, but I call it maturity. They may belittle your patience, but I call it wisdom. Do not despise the discipline of your spirit, for it is the sign of the authority I have given you. You are stronger than you realize. Every time you choose silence instead of rage, you display mastery. Every time you extend grace instead of retaliation, you demonstrate alignment with heaven. Every time you protect your peace instead of wasting it on fruitless battles, you walk in the likeness of my Son. Do not doubt yourself when others fail to understand you. Do not question your worth when others misjudge you. You are powerful, not because you shout, but because you carry fire beneath calm waters. You are influential, not because you force, but because you shift atmospheres without effort. Your restraint is wisdom. Your patience is strength. Your silence is discernment. These are not weaknesses to apologize for, but crowns you must wear with dignity. Continue to walk in the balance of grace and truth. Continue to hold fast to mercy, but know when to withdraw. Continue to bless, but know when to set boundaries. For this is not contradiction, it is maturity. It is the fullness of what it means to be chosen. And to those who know a chosen one, remember this always. Do not take lightly the presence of one who carries both tenderness and fire. Do not assume that because they are kind, they are safe to dishonor. Do not think that because they are patient, you can test them without consequence. Respect them, cherish them, learn from them. For they are living testimonies of my nature, merciful yet just, gentle yet mighty, restrained yet powerful. To walk alongside them is to walk alongside a mirror of heaven's balance. So take heed, beloved. Kindness is not weakness. Grace is not ignorance. Restraint is not naivety. These are the marks of strength, wisdom, and divine authority. Honor those I have placed among you who carry these marks. And if you are one of them, rise with confidence, for your calling is holy, your strength is hidden in me, and your restraint is the proof of your greatness. My beloved child, I honor your patience in remaining with me until the end of this word. Your willingness to listen with an open heart is itself a sign that you are ready for the next revelation I will send. Every moment you lean in, every breath you give to hear what I am saying, you are positioning yourself for greater alignment with my spirit. Know that this was not accidental. You were meant to hear this message today, and your perseverance marks you as one prepared for what comes next. Now I invite you. Let your response be a declaration of faith. Share your testimony so others may be strengthened. Ask for prayer so the community can stand with you. Or simply type, I receive this word as a sign of agreement that heaven has spoken and you choose to receive it. Do not hold this only for yourself. extend it outward. Share this word with someone who needs it, perhaps a loved one whose voice feels crushed, or a friend battling wars they were never meant to fight alone. By sharing, you become part of the flow of my message, carrying light into places of shadow. Remain connected, for heaven is not finished speaking. Subscribe and keep your spirit tuned, for I will continue to release what your soul needs. Until we meet again in the next word from above, I charge you, stay silent when silence is holy, remain faithful when faith feels costly, and watch with expectancy as I act on your behalf. Walk in light, but never forget the fire you carry. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you for honoring my voice.